Hi Taurus, this is your monthly reading for April 2024. This is Lost Twin Tarot. My name is Colette if you've never viewed me before. This is going to be a little bit different this monthly reading than it normally is. I'm going to be pulling three cards from the Lenormand Oracle deck. It's going to be one for the beginning, one for the middle, and one for the end of the month. And then there's going to be three cards for each row, and then one clarifier per card. So 12 cards total. I know that's like a mouthful, and that's like I try to explain it. Anyway, but these are general readings, Taurus. So just take the pieces that resonate and leave the rest. I was getting a lot on your when I was meditating on your cards, Taurus. I feel like something you are kind of reflecting back on. Maybe this is kind of popping back up. Um or coming back around maybe. I kept hearing like 5, 6, 10. Maybe this is years ago, months ago. I kept hearing like missed your chance, or came up short, or too little too late, something like that. Maybe somebody's trying to come back around because I feel like you are starting to really take care of yourself, or things are turning around for you. I feel like they've been starting to turn around for you in the past readings that I've been doing for you. Um, I feel like you're gonna be taking better care of yourself, and I don't feel like this is like an intense like cardio type thing. I feel like this is almost like if you're doing exercise, this is like a brisk walk. Just so you can get fresh air. It's like getting nicer where you live. Um, I feel like if you're eating healthier, this is something where you're not, denying yourself. You'll be able to find all your favorite foods just in a you know, whatever, a modified form. Um, I feel like this is also, I kept hearing something about signing up for something or being nominated or signing up for something like that. Um, the other thing was is that the name the word or name on ginger came out. And I felt like that was possibly significant. I don't know if this was like a dog or like a hair color or like a place. I kept feeling like it could have been also like a restaurant or a place or something like that. Um, the other thing was is that I felt like maybe in the past you felt like you had no choices, like you had no choice, but now I feel like you're going to have um a lot of choices. Like you're going to have a lot of choices in something. Um, I feel like your financial um situation is going to be improving as well in the month of April. So let's see what we have for you. You have number 24, heart, love, romance, giving, infatuation, infection, and core. For the beginning of the month, you have number 28, man, husband, questioner himself, male and masculinity. You have number 17, stork, change, movement, new beginnings, transition, flexibility, and transformation. A lot of people have been getting the stork card. You have the Six of Swords on the bottom of the deck there. So you have temperance, the hierophant, and the Five of Wands. For the middle of the month, you have the Four of Wands, the Three of Swords, and the Five of Swords. At the end of the month, you have the Knight of Cups, the Page of Wands, and the Ten of Pentacles. At the bottom of the clarifying deck, you do have the Tower. You have the Five of Wands with that Temperance card. You have the Seven of Swords with the Hierophant. You have the Justice card with the Five of Wands in the beginning of the month. You have the Eight of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Six of Cups in the middle of the month. You have the Nine of Cups, the Page of Swords, and the Eight of Cups in the last part of the month. Okay, so let's get into this, Tars. Okay, So number 24, heart, love, romance, giving, infatuation, affection. I feel like this could be, definitely sounds like you could be having things pick up in the love department in the month of April. Maybe you haven't been dating for a while, or maybe things, this could also be about self-love as well. I felt like when I was meditating on your cards, you are going to be doing a lot more self-love. I feel like you had to learn to re-love yourself. I feel like you are in the process of doing that right now. I feel like that's kind of what this is about. This definitely can be about you learning to do that. Um, and on this card, there's like a little window in there. And I feel like that was what you could be doing. It's almost like you need to learn, it's like you are learning to almost find that window. What is the window to your heart? Um, what is the window to your soul? What do you really love? What is it that you really want? In a soulmate, in yourself, what is it that you really want in this life? And I feel like that's what you're going to be kind of starting to do in the month of April. If you already involved in someone, I feel like that this could be a time for, it could be a time for maybe, a good time for romance. Let's take look at the cards and kind of see what we have going on here. You have the Temperance card and the Five of Wands. And, the temperance card is all about, cooperation. It's about patience. The temperance is also about kind of, taking the good with the bad in a lot of situations. And I feel like, you've been kind of doing that all along. I feel like you kind of also been having that, he has that one foot in, or this being has one foot in, and one foot out. So I feel like you've always never had both feet in, both feet out. You've always been kind of trying to figure your way out, trying to find your way. The one thing I will say about this Five of Wands is that you have the Five of Wands twice in this first row. But what I do like about this one is that all these rabbits they have these like wands of fire, and they're trying to keep this ball of light lit. And what I do like about that is like they're trying to keep this ball of light, they're trying to keep this light lit and not let it go all dark. And I feel like that's what you've been trying to do. You've been trying to keep some light burning or some fire lit going. And this could definitely be in your current love situation. It's almost like maybe your partner or maybe you, if you're with somebody, maybe you two have been encountering a rough patch, or you have been going through rough patches, but you're still just keeping that light lit. And maybe at this time you're going to start coming to an agreement. You're starting to find a happy medium in something, or maybe you're starting to just feel like, this is starting to come into balance. You have that card and you have justice on the end. So maybe you're starting to realize, what is it that you both really want? You don't want to keep fighting. You don't want to, keep doing this type of environment that you're in. You're going to start kind of coming to a common ground about something. Um, and I feel like if you aren't with somebody, this is kind of like a fight that you are kind of dealing with within yourself. You have the Hierophant. This is, your card, Taurus, and this definitely can represent marriage. This definitely can represent something, a serious commitment. This doesn't have to represent marriage, but in this case, I definitely feel like it does with that heart card, or a serious relationship. It's with the Seven of Swords. Underneath that, you have the Three of Swords. I feel like you could have been a loved one could have, this is not a recent one, then this is something in the past. I feel like you possibly could have hurt each other. This doesn't have to necessarily be a lying, cheating, stealing thing with a third party situation. This can just be, hurting each other with you know lying, cheating, stealing with you're just going to be about money. You have the Queen of Pentacles under there. This can be about, money. This can just be kind of lying to each other about, what you both want. You both could have thought that you want something else in this life, and then you realize down the road, well, wait a minute, I thought I wanted this, but now I realize I don't want this kind of life anymore. And your partner might say, well, wait a minute, I did this for you. I did this for you. I thought this is what you wanted. And then you kind of realize that, you feel almost confused and bad because you feel like you almost led yourself on this kind of confusing, you know, wild goose chase. With the Hierophant, I feel like, you both could be maybe you could be going to possibly maybe a mentor or a counselor. You could be going to counseling or looking for help in a situation, maybe to mend this relationship if you're looking for help. You could be looking for that to try to, fix your relationship. If that's not what that is, um, you have the Justice and the Five of Wands. On the flip side of this, I feel like maybe this is already a situation that is maybe done and over with. And then maybe some of you have already realized that this relationship is over. And that now you realize that things, they were just maybe weighing too high up in one area and it's just too much of a conflict. And then you realize that you had to move on. I feel like that this was already in the works of things and you already are in that process or this has already happened. Um, I feel like with the love, romance, giving, infatuation, affection, maybe this started out as a romance that was full of, infatuation or, something like that. I feel like I feel like this could be, more positive than negative though. I feel like this could definitely be something where maybe in the past you had relationships that kind of took a lot out of you in a sense with that. I feel like that was mostly maybe in the past you had a lot of relationships that were more like this Five of Wands on the end. They were more aggressive, not aggressive, but just more maybe they were not worth fighting for or there was a lot of conflict, a lot of bickering where now you feel like things are a lot better with this other Five of Wands. These were worth, trying to keep it lit, trying to keep the spark alive. Just take it how it resonates for you, Taurus. That's what I'm getting in the first part of the month of April. So let's move on to this second part. So we have number 28, man. Man, husband, questioner himself, male masculinity. And this doesn't have to represent, you as a male. This doesn't even have to represent that a male is coming into your life. This can represent the balance between us and ourselves. You have to, it's important to have all in all of us that we have a balance of masculinity and femininity. Um, and if you don't have them in balance, then your emotions won't be in balance. Um, for those of you that are independent or single, I feel like that's going to be kind of what's coming your way. You're going to kind of feel like you're more independent. You're going to have this balance of that masculine and feminine energy. But I feel like, I mean, like I said, um, I feel like this is kind of a love reading. Not really a love reading, but I feel like maybe you're opening yourself up to love a little bit more. You do have the Eight of Wands and the Four of Wands. I feel like this could be positive news coming in. Maybe you're going to a celebration or a wedding, or you're getting news of somebody's getting married, something like that. I feel like you could be getting good news. Eight of Wands is all about good news. Look at those, they're almost like shooting stars. So I feel like you're almost wishing for good news to come your way. I feel like you're wishing on a star. You're wishing for some, like the person of your dreams to come in, and you're wishing for some almost like to get married, or you're wishing for the right person to come in like that. I feel like this is your home. The Four Wands represents your home. So I feel like there is good news coming in for you. I feel like you are on the lookout. When I was saying about meditating on your cards, I feel like where you had no choice before, and now you have a lot more choices. I feel like that was related to love when I was meditating on them. The next card you have is the Queen of Pentacles and the Three of Swords. I do feel like this Queen of Pentacles can represent you. I feel like you are nurturing yourself. You're nurturing your bank account. You are trying to get what you want, and you're really focused on it right now. I feel like you're um lessening this grieving process. You're not focused on heartbreak, and I feel like you don't want to get your heart broken again. I feel like you have had your heart broken, and you're trying to not let it happen. So you're just trying to stay focused. Um, I feel like if a man does, or a man, woman, if you're the man, however, take it how it resonates. If this person does come in and is trying to, maybe they kind of come in out of nowhere, um, and they're trying to maybe say, hey, well, let's get together and everything like that. I feel like you might be potentially kind of doing what she's doing in this car. You kind of have your back towards them, and you're trying to pay attention to that bright light out there. You're just staying focused. You're just kind of looking on your growth, and you're like, no, I've just gotten out of this. I'm trying to heal. Whether you're healing from a relationship, or you're just trying to get over, your grieving process, of, whatever it is you're going through, you know, your transformation. You're just like, well, thanks, but I just need some more time. Um, I feel like also in this card, like there's that chair there, and it's almost like it's like trying to invite her to have a seat and get comfortable. But I feel like you're almost like a little bit restless in a situation. I almost feel like you're like, well, I can't sit down right now. It's like I felt like that too. It's like you're a little bit restless. You're excited about your life kind of going in the right direction. You're excited about kind of getting this busy energy going on, but I feel like you're just a little bit nervous. You're a little bit anxious about it. Next you have the Five of Swords and the Six of Cups. And I feel like this is kind of where that energy is coming from. It's under the Justice card. I feel like with the Six of Cups, that is something really nice that is coming in for you. I feel like, things are headed in the right, direction. The Six of Cups is about, blessings after difficulty. If you look at that card, it's got these, beautiful hot air balloons. Hot air balloons always, remind you of something kind of whimsical. It's, you see these children in this card, and they're in the middle of that, and they're in the middle of these two mountains, and it almost reminds you of when you're a child. You really don't think of, the obstacles that you're going to have to face in life, the fears you're going to have to face in life. You're just focused on those hot air balloons, the beauties of the world, the joys of the world. And I feel like from those mountains, it's almost like those represent the big obstacles that we're all going to have to face. And I feel like that's kind of the energy that you are going to be in. You're trying to focus on the beauties, the joys. And with that Five of Swords, I feel like that's kind of that energy that you can sometimes get grabbed into. I feel like the Five of Swords, this is about petty energy. Sometimes you can get sucked into this in your head, mentally, with past energies that you've been involved in. And I feel like it's almost like you have to kind of control that. You have to kind of get yourself out of that and be like, no, no, no. Um, and really kind of just, walk your way out of that and focus on the good, so you don't really have that, negative mindset. I feel like that's kind of what is coming in for me. Um, I feel like this was also somebody maybe in the past, that you could have been with for a long time, or somebody who kind of took that memory away from you, kind of took those fun times away, or kind of rained on it a little bit. Like they had to win at all cost. They kind of just they kind of just made it not fun. It's like you see this beautiful picture, and then you have these dark clouds in that Five of Swords. I feel like it's almost like they put a damper on a lot of things. And that's what I'm getting for you in the middle part of April. And lastly, the end of April looks really, really good for you. Um, Taurus, you have number 17, Stork, change, movement, new beginnings, transition, flexibility, and transformation. Um, and a lot of people have been getting this. The thing about the Stork card is that, you think of a stork, and, it was always that goofy story about the stork brings the baby, and which is pretty ridiculous, but that's what they said. So I feel like this is something that whatever is coming in your way, you want to make sure that you take care of it, and nurture it like you would a baby, a new beginning, a change, transition. So you have the Knight of Cups and the Nine of Cups, which is something that whatever this is, if this is a person, an opportunity, the Knight of Cups, he can represent the knight in shining armor. It is under the Eight of Wands. It is diagonally from the man. It's under the Four of Wands. So this definitely can represent a person coming in for you. It also can represent that dreamy idea of, your dreams that you have. So, whatever this is, it's the Nine of Cups that is a feeling of, absolute, fulfillment. It's joy. It's something that you just really want to bask in. And, whatever that is, it's telling you to, okay, well, enjoy it, but make sure that you, nurture it, and take care of it so you can stay in that. Um, I feel like it was an opportunity that you've been waiting for as well. Almost like when you wait and wait and wait for a baby to be born. You're just waiting, waiting, waiting. You can't wait for it to get here any longer. So next you have the Page of Wands and the Page of Swords. This can represent children. If you have children. Um, I feel like almost in a way this could be almost the idea of you having to go through the process of these hard lessons that you've been learning. With the Page of Swords, she's sitting there kind of going through this, and it's like she's almost feels like she's like almost in timeout or something, or almost learning a lesson in a way. She's reading that book like lesson one, like you would see her reading, and I feel like you have learned it. You have maybe learned a hard lesson, but not purposely and not really, it's really not anybody's. It's almost like you had to learn a lesson, but it wasn't really, um, it really wouldn't have mattered if you did anything differently. Um, it's almost just like you are just writing these things down in your portfolio of life. Um, whatever choices you've made. Um, and you've been learning and you're becoming wiser from it. And now that you've learned, I feel like now you can really get excited about something with the Page of Wands energy. And sometimes the Page of Wands, he can be a little bit nervous. He gets so worked up about things and gets excited, and sometimes he never ends up starting anything. But with the Page of Wands, I feel like you are taking your time. You're learning. You have learned with that Page of Swords. You've gotten that information, with that little bird next to her. It's like, well, the bird told me, that little bird told me. So I feel like it's almost like you've got all the information that you needed as gone through your journey. Whatever lesson that you needed to learn, the movement, the transformation. I feel like that's also part of your transformation. Also, the thing about, that little girl in there as well, it's almost like maybe for some of you, you felt like a child at the time from um, when you started something, and now you've grown up and now you are ready to kind of transform into making these more adult decisions like we all have. And lastly, you end with the Ten of Pentacles and the Eight of Cups, which is a great thing to end with, especially with the change, new beginnings, transformation. The Eight of Cups is all about walking away from something that doesn't serve you anymore. And I feel like you are ready to move forward and you've made the decision. The Ten of Pentacles is the best money card in the deck, but it's also everything that we want in life. It's, this can be about love, family, money. It's pretty much just what we're all headed towards. We're headed towards that Ten of Pentacles. Like, what do you want out of life? It's kind of like, what I was saying earlier with beginning with that Temperance card and that Heart card. You're kind of thinking about, you're starting out this journey, really trying to figure out with that window. in that heart card, you're trying to figure out what is it that I want in a person? What is it that I want, you know, out of life? And I really think that's what you're doing. You're starting out April kind of thinking like that. And you're just contemplating over time. You're contemplating over the month. And by the end of the month, you're walking away from whatever that is and you're headed towards that 10 of Pentacles. So yeah, I really think it's going to be a really good month for you. You're figuring out what you want. You're, you know, tending to your own needs and your own heart and soul. And I think it's going to be a very good, productive month for you and your soul and your spirit as well, Taurus. But it looks great for you. I'm going to leave it there. If you like this reading, please like, share, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Until then, enjoy your month very much, and I hope to see you at the next read. Thanks. Bye.